Hey, Dirt Farmer Jay here from dirtfarmerjay.com. Like you, I try to maximize the space in my shop. Well, there's a lot of wasted space under the drill press, so we built this cabinet right here that allows us to keep all the accessories and to recapture that space. Hey, walk through this with me. I'll tell you some of the design features and the approach we took. Hey, Dirt Farmer Jay here from dirtfarmerjay.com. I love finding ways to organize my shop better. Organization in the shop is a project on its own, and I'm constantly looking for ways to maximize lost space and to get things closer to the job. Well, we built this cabinet here, and I'm actually going to tell you a little bit about a few mistakes I made, just so you know how to avoid them. But also, what I want to do is tell you some of the steps with this and show you how we did the top. And this is not a video about dimension drawings. And the reason is, if you look right down here in this industrial gray metal cabinet, this is a great gift given to me by my friend Steve Callahan that came out of an industrial setting. I doubt that you'd be able to go down and buy exactly the same cabinet again, because this is an old dog, but this cabinet determined the size of the shell that was going to go around it. We did trestle legs down on the bottom, built a very solid cabinet here, put a really solid top on it so that this itself could be used for a worktop up here. So my friend Steve, thank you for your generosity on this cabinet. And there's a lot of organization to be done. We're actually going to create an index for this by drawer and column number, so I can look up things like drawer hinges or plumbing parts or whatever. But the top drawers are really just a cool thing here, where this will keep it right near the drill press. And if you'd like to see about how we made these drawers using the quarter method, you can check out the video that's being displayed above me right now. And I'll put it in the links in the description below as well. But these drawers will allow us to keep a lot of bits right next to where we're going to be using them on our drill press. We put in some heavy-duty drawer glides on this. This one still has more work to be done on it and more organizers, but you can see that we're well on our way. Well, let me tell you something that happened that you want to be really aware of. We originally built this and used much taller casters on it because I had first measured this from the floor to the under edge of the drill press table. I was lazy and I didn't look down underneath to see some of the adjustment handles, also how it was attached to the column. And when we put that original height cabin in there, it immediately collided and left about that much, maybe 6 inches, 8 inches, sticking out in front of the table. Way too much room being taken up, and did not allow me to lower the table down as much as I would like for a majority of drilling jobs. This had to be also mobile, so in case I needed to lower the table down significantly or to put in a column in there or lower it all the way to the floor, this couldn't be in the way. So we needed to do some casters. And let me show you what we did there. So to get the table to fit better under the drill press table, we had two choices. One, do a lot of modifications on these very solid trestle leg table legs that were under it, or change the caster height. And these were the casters I originally had on it, all four corners, swivel lock, step down casters, but as you can see, quite tall. And what we were able to do is lower the height by going to a side mount bracket from our friends at Service Caster Corporation out of Pennsylvania. You can visit them at servicecaster.com. But they were really great to work with and had a product that I didn't find readily out there, and certainly not at my home improvement store, that allowed us to put 150 pounds of lifting capacity on each of the back legs. So you can see how those work. So that lowered the back edge. Now, what about the front edge? Well, what we opted for was to go to my friends at Rockler and get one of what's called the workbench caster sets. And these work with a step down that when they're in the up position, the unit's sitting flat on the floor. When you step down on it, raises up and you can roll it around in combination with the back casters. Well, that's what we did. As you can see, they've been placed on the front down here. However, there was one more problem, and this is another thing to be careful of. As we applied them, put them in the front nose of the trestle table legs was sticking out. I thought it clears, I can see it swivel. Well, it worked fine until we started to roll it around because the casters trail in the direction you're going. So when I was pushing the cabinet back, that is away from you, the casters would trail out in the clear, no problem. As I started to pull it forward though, what happened is the casters rotated around, collided with those ends, and essentially just locked up. So we had to cut those off, and you can see my friend Paul right here sawing those off really quickly. And we took these off, sawed off the nose of those, stained the ends, put these back on, and now you can see down below that those casters roll around clearly, and I can move them forward and backwards, no problem, and it'll go any direction that I move it. Now you may be wondering, what's up with the bar of wood across to both of these step-down casters? As you look on the step-down casters, the picture on the front just shows the person stepping on one, then they would go to the other. I don't like that. And the reason I don't, especially on a large workbench, which is your reference surface in a work shop, is you're essentially tweaking the bench every time you do that. You step on one corner, it raises one corner. You go to the other, step on it, it raises it. Now you move the thing around, untweak it one step at a time. I don't think that's good for the reference plane, for the joinery in the bench and that sort of thing. So if you connect both of them at the same time and make a step bar, now the whole thing raises and lowers in one motion. And while we were at it, we wanted to make sure that the top gave us a lot of utility and that this cart actually became another work surface that could be used around in the shop. And frankly, when we film video episodes like this, you'll see this used many times. It's so handy, right height, right size, doesn't use up a lot of space. We made this top right out of SPF, spruce, pine, fir wood that you can get your home center. Try to get some really dry stuff and straight stuff. And you can see we glued this all up, planed it all, got it trued up. And even now, you can see it a little bit. There's a little crack forming right there because it was still a little wet. We'll fill that with epoxy and clamp it. But this is a good, solid surface and fun to work with. And so it might be something, a feature you consider as well when you build your cabinet. You know, we're going to put this under a great drill press. Take a look at this video where we show you the high points and what we think about that Powermatic VS2800. And while you're at it, check out this other video that YouTube thinks is perfect for you. And we'd appreciate it if you watch it as well. Until the next time, this is Dirt Farmer Jay from dirtfarmerjay.com.